Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 Hardcore Series. Tonight, it's the return of the sprints. We are heading to Lusail for the Qatar Grand Prix. And we're rounding off the week with the first of back-to-back sprints. We'll be having another sprint on Monday as we head to Qatar, then Tuesday, Mexico, and then the final sprint of the season will be Brazil on the Wednesday. So we've got 3 sprints in very quick succession here. I'm very confident about how we'll do in the actual sprint itself tonight. Less so about the Grand Prix itself, but hopefully we'll be all right. I mean, higher temperatures are going to be high. Going to be very hot by the look of it on the Sunday. A little concerned about wear rates, especially considering how quick Max has been in these last couple of races. And Leclerc was quick last night as well. So we're really up against it now if we want to try and catch and then overhaul Red Bull. They have been pulling away from us in the last couple of race weekends. Let's see what the grid looks like in terms of cars tonight as sprints return. So we are 5th, 9th and 5th in terms of speed, acceleration and DRS. 3rd across the board in cornering and Dirty Air 7th. So those numbers there in the cornering are very good. Brake cooling is also very good. That'll help prevent lockups and also keep the tyre temps under control a little bit more. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. We'll start with our principal rivals, Red Bull. And they are 19th in speed. Wow. They are the slowest car on the grid in terms of top speed. That is a shock. They've got a mighty acceleration, though, especially when you compare it to ours. Very close in the low downforce and the medium downforce and the high downforce for that matter. Very close across the board there. You can see the difference as well. Look at that high speed. We are 3rd, Red Bull are 15th. Look at the difference in the actual performance there. It's 0.051 G, and that is 3rd to 15th. So we are really talking fine margins now in the rankings. The field has got closer and closer and closer as the season has progressed. Okay. With that in mind, let's take a look at the defending champions. They are the 3rd quickest car on the grid in terms of outright speed, and it's only by 0.02 kilometers per hour over us. We've got a fractionally better acceleration. They've got a slightly better DRS, and it's pretty balanced in the corners. We're identical in medium. They've got the better low speed. We've got the better high speed. A minor edge in the dirty air performance. So yeah, they really have got a decent car under them now. The only thing that's hurting them is their acceleration, really. Let's see, who else have we been fighting against recently? Let's take a look at McLaren. I want to see the difference between Lando and Ocon. In fact, Ocon's in car 2 now, isn't he? So, all right, let's go to car 1 there and car 2 here. They are now running identical spec parts. They weren't earlier in the season, but they are now running identical. How you doing, Victor? How you doing, Dino? Mr. Water, good to see you guys. Right, those are the principal rivals that we're going to be up against. Like I said, I'm pretty confident about how well we can do in the sprint because we're very good at managing our tyres in the beginnings of sprints and then really pushing on later in the sprint itself and attacking for the lead and pulling away. We'll see how that goes tonight. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, I hope, as long as we can stay with the cars and protect the tyres in the first few laps. If we can do that, we'll be golden. The race, though, will be another matter indeed. The incentive tonight is to get one car into Q3. We're going to go for both in the top 10 and both through Q2 as well. Fastest laps, the incentive, we're going to guarantee 2 in the top 8 tonight. And then we've got our finish position streak, 2 in the top 15 for 2 finishes tonight, and then 2 in the top 10 for 5 qualifications in a row. We are 3 down, 2 to go. So let's push on to Qatar.
Our calendar brings us to the Middle East this weekend for the Qatar Grand Prix. Lusail International Circuit is a speed demon, fast and flowing with a long main straight, one that's sure to see plenty of overtaking action. As a desert track, Lusail is dusty and challenging. Grip levels are crucial and can change throughout a race weekend or even during a single session. The unique layout demands the highest possible downforce despite being a relatively open track.
This time, teams have 2 races to contend with, as a sprint race will decide the starting order for the weekend's Grand Prix.
Now let's crack on with the weekend.
All right, so once again, we just have this one session to get everything dialed in. And I'm unlikely to use soft tyres in the race, I think. I'm probably going to go mediums, maybe mediums and hards. Maybe only use the one set of softs and go medium, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium, something like that. So we're going to use softs in this first session and then hards in the second session. We're going to run soft in the sprint, try and save the mediums for the race itself. If we do get a safety car, I want to have another set of mediums available. Let's see. So Qatar needs about 18 laps for a day 1 run. And of course, we'll pull them in early if we need to. Let's look at parts. Yeah, I can just get away with that engine in this session. And we'll go with that gearbox. There we go. Let's do a setup now for Isaac's car. So, let's see. Let's go with a 9, 13, a 6.4, a 3.45, and a 1. There we go. So that's Isaac's car prepped. Now we'll do Ollie. Again, we'll use a set of softs in this session. We'll go 18 laps and pull them in early if we need to. Let's change the parts over. Give that engine. And that ERS. And that gearbox. There we go. And we need a setup. How you doing, Baron? All right, we'll go a little bit different on this one. We'll go a 6.5 on the front and a 13. We'll go an 8.2, then a 3.4 and a 0.65. Yeah, let's try that. And away we go. I'm doing okay, Baron. Struggling a little bit with the heat these last couple of nights. It's not been aggressively hot like it will be in a couple of months' time, but it's been uncomfortable. My room always seems to trap the heat, so I can't really get very good ventilation. But my fan just trying to create a bit of movement in the air at the moment, pointing towards the window as well, trying to exhaust some of that out. But we'll see how that goes. I've ended up having to sleep in the mornings these last couple of days and just haven't been able to sleep at night. It's a bit frustrating. but kind of apt given where we're racing tonight, I suppose. Let's leave them to it for a bit. So we've had some reports in the media today about Nico Hulkenberg's salary going forward. Apparently he's been on about 2 million a year at Haas, and when he goes to Audi / Sauber from next season onwards, he'll be earning 5 million a year. So quite a big pay increase. Which makes me wonder what kind of financial offer they'll put towards Carlos Sainz. Got to expect it's going to be a big one, given that he's their number one target. Right, feedback, 83%. That is not good enough. We are going to need to call him in. Let's see, what about Isaac? $88, a little bit better, but still not good enough. So we'll call him in early. My concern is that the tyres won't go to the rest of the session now. I mean, they should do. We've looked after them, but the fuel load is based on not the push rate, but sorry, not the the slow rate that we're running, but on a normal push rate. That is a spin for a McLaren.
And here we've got a yellow flag.
It's Lando, and a little whoopsie. 20 plus mil, maybe. I probably not. I think that even that is probably a little bit too much. At least to, maybe as a starting salary. Maybe there'll be performance bonuses on top to push it up above that, but as a base rate, I think that might be a little bit much for Sainz. Given the car's performance over the next couple of seasons isn't going to be, race win worthy.
Okay, we're coming now to the pit.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll find out something at some point. All right, so a bit to change here. We'll go to a 7.3. Let's go to an 8, 13, 7.3, 3.45, and a 1. Not quite there. So let's look at something a little different. Go with a 3.35 and a 0.95 and an 8.5 at the front. That's not far off. I just pull that back like that. That gives me a good gap there on the traction and the braking to match the good gap on the oversteer, and then a very little gap on the straights. Yeah, that might be it. We'll try and put some more fuel in. Yeah, there we go. It won't let me put more fuel in. That's frustrating. And we're just a little off with everything at the moment here. So let's try dropping that down to an 8.5. What are we on? A 6.4. I've got a 9.5. 13.64. And then a 3.35. Yeah, we'll give that a try. Not overly convinced by that one, but we'll see what the numbers shake out as. Let's see. Ocon again, looking quick. He's been very rapid these last half of his Grand Prix or so. Since the summer break, he's been right up there.
Are you happy with the car?
99%, that's excellent. That's just one click of toe. So we'll try and keep him on track for as long as we can. '85, gone the wrong way. Ugh. That's not so good. Hopefully we'll clear things up a little bit. Not really. Only the front wing's cleared up, so that's going to have to be something like an 8. Yeah, we'll try that. Let's try and turn Behrman around for an extra couple of laps if we can. Just wring the last little bit out of those tyres. Not going to make that change. Actually, I would think it would be that. We'll make the change afterwards, and if we drop to 98, we drop to 98. There we go. Let's give him 5 more laps of fuel. Send him back out. Was that 5 laps? That was quick. It can't be 5 laps. Tyres are almost completely dead. Alright, well that's it. That's all we can do with Behrman. In fact, we'll keep him out. If he runs out of fuel on track, he runs out of fuel on track. But it might get me that extra 1%, which will help. Alright, so we've got some partial feedback for Isaac. Hopefully it'll paint a clearer picture if we're going in the right direction or not. We probably haven't got enough feedback to really make a general proper assessment. And we need to make that tweak to Behrman, but we are now ready for qualifying.
It's time to determine starting positions for the sprint race, here in qualifying.
As usual, drivers have 3 parts to qualify for their grid position. Unlike a regular qualifying, however, today will set the grid for the upcoming sprint. They're not looking quite as strong as their teammates, so they've got some ground to make up. A good grid position here would certainly help matters.
Buckle up then, folks. It's almost time for qualifying.
Right then. Let's have a look. Okay, so that has to be a 7.3, so I can make some adjustments based on that. And I'm going to roll the dice on that setup. So we did get some very constructive feedback there. It's good. Let's go with a 94% engine. 80% ERS. 65% gearbox. We'll go 73% for Ollie, 41% for qualifying, 68% gearbox. Alright, and we need to just make that little tweak. That would put them on the same setup, I believe. No, it wouldn't. There's a slight difference. Alright, we will go with my initial thought, which is to roll that back to a 0.85. See if we got that right or not. And we are ready to try and qualify. Yeah, all my tyres are locked out apart from softs. Thinking about maybe running mediums in this first stint, but never mind. Let's hope we can get a one and done. Because tyre wear rate here is pretty bad.
Working on those brakes and tires. Copy.
Maloney making his way on track.
off.
All right, I think we've got just about enough clear track in front of us to not worry about catching Joe and Sainz there. Max is making his way out now, so that will be our benchmark test. We've also got Oscar out there as well, another good benchmark for us. Pretty close between our two, taking a purple sector each. See which one of them comes out on top. You have to imagine it's going to be Ollie getting that slipstream, even if it is a distant one. And it's not, it is Isaac. So he just had a much better middle sector in the end. Very close between the two, and hopefully that's all we need to do. Say, I don't want to run the tyres absolutely more than necessary, or more than absolutely necessary, as I probably should say. We are a tenth quicker than Maloney. Not a lot. But he's been a little bit rapid at times in the last couple of races as well. We're not going to be topping the timings with this this lap, I don't believe, but as long as we're good enough to get through, that's all that I care about. Max starts his flying lap now. He will have to negotiate Russell's Ferrari. And let's cut to Oscar. He's already on his flying lap. Oh wow, Joe and Sainz both quicker than us. That is a bit of a worry. Which makes me feel that we might have to run again. Oscar having the end of his lap spoiled a little bit there by Maloney. Max coming up to the back of the Ferrari. Gets through without incident. Where does Oscar go? He still goes quicker than us, despite that hold up. We're going to need to run again. It's not good enough. Damn it, he's still let him through anyway.